The mid-19th century was a time of turbulence and transformation in the United States. A young nation bursting with ambition was expanding its borders and growing its industries. But beneath the surface of progress, deep divisions threatened to tear the country apart. Tensions were rising, and the nation was on the brink of collapse. The North and South were locked in a bitter conflict over slavery, a practice that fueled the Southern economy but clashed with the ideals of freedom and equality. Amidst this chaos, one man would rise to face these challenges. A man who grew up in poverty, taught himself to read by candlelight, and dared to dream of a united America. His name, Abraham Lincoln. Join me as we explore the life of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, in 10 captivating chapters. This is Chapter 1, Humble Beginnings, where we uncover the story of Lincoln's early life and the challenges that shaped his remarkable journey. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a one-room log cabin in Sinking Spring Farm, Hardin County, Kentucky. He was the second child of Thomas Lincoln, a farmer and carpenter, and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. He was a descendant of Samuel Lincoln, an Englishman who migrated from Hingham, Norfolk, to Massachusetts in 1638. The Lincolns were of modest means, struggling to make a living on the frontier. Despite their challenges, the family instilled in young Abraham a sense of integrity, hard work, and resilience. Abraham's family moved several times during his childhood. When he was 7, they relocated to Indiana in 1816 due to land disputes in Kentucky. Indiana was then a wilderness, and the family lived in tough conditions, building their own shelter and farming the land. In 1818, when Abraham was just 9 years old, his mother Nancy died from milk sickness, a poisoning caused by drinking milk from cows that had eaten the toxic white snakeroot plant. Her death devastated the family and left Abraham's father Thomas to care for 3 children. In 1819, Thomas Lincoln married Sarah Bush Johnston, a widow with 3 children of her own. Sarah became a loving stepmother to Abraham, encouraging his education and providing the emotional support he lacked after his mother's death. Lincoln had less than a year of formal schooling in his entire life. Frontier schools were few and far between, and Abraham's labor was often needed at home. Despite this, he developed an insatiable appetite for learning. Borrowing books from neighbors, he read anything he could find, including the Bible, Aesop's Fables, and the Life of George Washington by Parson Weems. He would often practice writing on anything available, including wooden boards, scraping them clean for reuse. His self-education laid the foundation for his eloquence and deep thinking later in life. Lincoln admired the ideas of self-improvement and personal achievement, drawing inspiration from the biographies of great leaders, including George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. As a boy, Lincoln worked on his family's farm, splitting logs to make fences, plowing fields, and performing other demanding physical tasks. These experiences earned him a reputation as a hard worker and gave him the nickname Rail Splitter. In 1828, the Lincoln family faced another tragedy. Abraham's older sister Sarah passed away on January 20 at the age of nearly 21. Little is known about Sarah or their mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Neighbors interviewed by William Herndon described both women as intelligent, though their accounts of their physical appearances often conflicted. Possibly seeking a distraction from the grief of his sister's death, 19-year-old Abraham Lincoln embarked on a flatboat journey to New Orleans in the spring of 1828. He traveled with Allen Gentry, the son of James Gentry, who owned a local store near the Lincoln family's homestead. They began their journey on the Ohio River at Gentry's Landing, near Rockport, Indiana. During the trip, Lincoln and Gentry were attacked by several African-American men who attempted to steal their cargo. However, the two managed to defend their boat and repel the attackers. Upon reaching New Orleans, they sold their cargo, which belonged to Gentry's father, and spent time exploring the city. In New Orleans, Lincoln likely witnessed a slave auction for the first time, as the city had a significant slave population and an active slave market. This experience may have left a lasting impression on him. The trip also exposed Lincoln to the cultural diversity and bustling activity of the Deep South, giving him a broader view of the world. By 1830, the Lincoln family decided to move again, this time to Illinois. They settled in Macon County, where Abraham continued to help clear land and build fences. However, by this time Lincoln had begun to dream of striking out on his own. He no longer wanted to live under his father's roof and be bound to a life of endless labor on the farm. At the age of 22 in 1831, Lincoln left his family and moved to New Salem, Illinois, a small village along the Sangamon River. There he worked a variety of jobs, including as a store clerk, rail splitter, and even a ferryman. His experiences during this time further shaped his character and gave him a deeper understanding of the struggles of ordinary people. Before settling in New Salem, Lincoln took another flatboat journey to New Orleans in 1831, this time as part of a crew hired to deliver goods. Lincoln returned to New Salem in late July 1831. This marked the end of his childhood and the beginning of his journey toward greatness.